I don't know if you can tell from this footage, but when it was taken, I was in such a bad mood. So yesterday morning, Brendan and I thought, let's have a fun day and go out and explore Los Angeles. We had the day off from work. It seemed like a good plan. But I should mention that it was the third day of a heat wave here in LA. Like, we're talking upper 90s, almost 100 degrees, 3 days in a row. We should have probably just have stayed home. This little window air conditioning unit keeps the house pretty cool. And it would have been nice to just sit and watch some movies with the pug dogs. But we thought, let's go out and see what the world has to offer. We wanted to check out the Bradbury Building downtown. It's been maybe 13 years since I was last there, and maybe get some lunch at Grand Central Market. I mean, I could have predicted this, but the parking situation was horrible. There were no parking spots, and the one that was probably open because it was maybe the world's smallest parking slot I've ever seen in my life. So I thought, this is all we've got. We have to make it work. So I pulled into the spot, but to get out of the car, it was so close to the next car that it's a situation like this where I had to go like this, you know? And the whole time we were out and about, I kept thinking about the car. Like, oh God, how are people going to get into their cars? Are they going to bang mine up with their door? It's happened in the past. Are they going to scrape it when they try to get out? So I was edgy. We went to the Bradbury Building. It's a really great space. It's where Blade Runner was shot, and architecturally it's incredibly interesting. It has such great atmosphere. The only time I've ever been, 13 years ago, I remember it was some weekday in the middle of the afternoon, and it was completely deserted inside, and it was great. That's the way that building should probably be experienced. But it was a Sunday, and it was packed. There were so many people, and it's not a terribly large lobby, and you can only stay in the lobby and just kind of look around. You can't go onto the upper floors. The experience didn't really match what I had in mind. But between Brennan and me, we got some footage so we can prove that we were there. We went across the street to Grand Central Market, and I was hungry. But like I said, it was very hot, and it was just very crowded. I'm not very good with crowds. It kind of stresses me out. So I was pretty visibly stressed, and Brendan could tell. Thanks for putting up with me. I couldn't decide where to eat. It was either sushi, and I was excited to try because someone commented last week about this blue crab and cucumber roll, and that sounds incredible. But we went with something we already knew. We went with sticky rice, and I had some pad thai, which was delicious. It was great. I have no reason to complain, except I was still incredibly crabby. We exited Grand Central Market to look at Angel Share, which is a very iconic place in Los Angeles, and if it had been about 30 degrees cooler, we would have entertained the thought of actually going in. But instead, we just looked at it and went back to the car. We shimmied our way back into that space, and actually getting out of it was easier than getting in. And from what I could tell, there were no further dings or scrapes, so it's fine. We decided to head out west because we wanted to see what was going on at Dries Van Noten, and I kind of secretly thought that it would just cheer me up. It's an incredibly peaceful, beautiful space. On the drive, we noticed that there were these nice little setups selling Mother's Day gifts in case you happen to forget and were stopped at a red light. You could probably just pick up a gift. I like seeing that. It was cute. And then we called Brennan's mom on speakerphone to wish her a happy Mother's Day. And it seems like she was having a pretty good day, so that was nice. We got over to Dries Van Noten, and instantly I was impressed by their floral arrangement. Honestly, I think the main reason why Brendan and I go is to see what their flower arrangements are like. They're so stunning. beautiful. And this time they had a big branch of dogwood and little branches of some citrus for maybe kumquats. It was perfection. And I was wondering to myself, where on earth did they get dogwood? In Southern California. But I'm pleased that they did. As you know, I'm a big fan of the Dries Van Noten fragrances. They're all so great. And I wanted to put one on, but I was actually too grumpy to choose one. Isn't that weird? So I went with what I knew, Fleur du Mal, which is fantastic. So I smelled great nonetheless. And we looked around at clothes. I love this coat. Let's see what it looks like on. I don't trust mirrors, so I have to take photos of myself. These coats were so stunning to me, really beautiful. Especially the second one, which was kind of a tuxedo style or smoking jacket. It had the beautiful satin lapels and the details were stunning. And it was so long. When I stood straight up, it went right to the floor. I felt like I was just this tall black column, and I like that effect. In fact, pretty soon I'm going to be a presenter at the Art and Olfaction Awards here in Los Angeles, and I just thought, can you imagine walking up to the podium wearing that incredible coat? But the price was a little too incredible. I mean, I seriously would need that coat to go on sale at about 70 or 80% off for me to consider buying it. But what a great coat. We got back into the car and we were wondering, where should we go now? Should we get some ice cream, do some shopping at Trader Joe's? We decided maybe let's try all of this. So on the way back home, we stopped by Larchmont Village and had a little look around. They have a blue mercury there. And ever since I discovered this beautiful perfume, Derby Rose from Diptyque, that I bought in London, I've been looking online to find out where in Los Angeles I might be able to check out the rest of the fragrances. And they're on the Blue Mercury website, so I thought, who knows, maybe they'll have the perfumes there. They don't. They only had the makeup and skincare. But they did have one of my old favorites, Orange Blossom from Jo Malone. Putting it on reminded me just how perfect it is. It's such a sunny, uplifting scent. I love it. And I'm surprised I don't have it in my collection. I might need to do something about that. Then we stopped into Diptyque, and I just wanted to smell through all the candles. It would have been nice to buy myself a candle because my birthday is coming up. In fact, I'm posting this video the day after my birthday, so I'll have already had it. So I thought, you know, treat yourself to a nice candle. But I couldn't really justify it because I have so many gorgeous candles on the go right now. And they're really wonderful, so I didn't buy myself a candle. Although I re-sniffed Muguet, the Lily of the Valley. And in a recent video, I actually said that I wasn't crazy about the Muguet candle from Diptyque, and I don't know what I'm talking about. It smelled so good. It's a beautiful Lily of the Valley. But if I were to buy a candle at Diptyque right now, it would probably be the Foin Coupé, the Mon Hay, because I love that coumarin smell. The smell of hay is just so calming to me. We got some ice cream. Brennan got the strawberry sorbet, and it was wonderful. It just had the most perfect strawberry flavor. And I went with mint chocolate chip. And the first 2 or 3 spoonfuls were wonderful and so satisfying, but about halfway through, I just kind of got tired of it. It just tasted sweet to me, and it didn't have any mint flavor anymore. But this is all because of my mood. I was wondering if I was in a bad mood because my birthday is coming up in a few days. And you know how it is. Sometimes birthdays put you in a great mood. Sometimes they stress you out a little bit. And honestly, this year, I don't really have any feelings either way about my birthday. When I was a lot younger, I would be so excited for my birthday and start celebrating about a month in advance and buy myself constant presents. I'm not really doing it this year, but I am going to take the day off from work and just hang out. I asked Brennan to get me a princess cake to celebrate my birthday, and I have a feeling he's going to come through with it. And this is very exciting to me. I'll be sure to share the experience with you when it happens. So after a little bit more of a stroll in Larchmont, we decided to have a glass of wine at a restaurant. We sat outside on the sidewalk, and at that point I was feeling fine. Not good, not bad, just kind of neutral. And he took a picture of me while I perused the wine list and showed it to me. And I thought, oh my God, the look on my face is how I've been feeling all day, and I can't seem to shake it off. It's kind of annoying. So we just kind of sat there, enjoying our wine. At that point, the worst of the heat had passed, so it was comfortably warm. And a woman happened to just walk by us and say, "You guys look so chill." And she smiled and just kept walking. And we both laughed. Like, if she only knew how unchill I've been all day, she'd laugh too. But her comment actually was kind of a pick-me-up. Thank you for that. We got into the car and headed to Trader Joe's, and I put a playlist on from Spotify because I don't know what was going on, but every song that was coming on the radio was very irritating. It just happens sometimes, and I don't think it was my mood, it was actually the songs. When Mariah Carey came on from the playlist, I was actually feeling pretty good at that point. And I asked Brennan to remove the plastic film that covered the display in my car. It's been on there ever since I got this car, which was 6 years ago. So it kind of felt like an event to take this plastic film off. I don't know if you knew this about me, but I have a talent when it comes to Trader Joe's. I know certain products that are so good that I don't think a lot of people talk about. And every time I go to Trader Joe's, I pick up some of these products. So let me tell you some of these secrets. The cheese section, outstanding. Particularly the English coastal cheddar. It has the perfect amount of tang and that wonderful crumbliness. It's the perfect cheddar. You can't go wrong with a big block of Parmigiano Reggiano, and the pugs love it. And as you know, I love a nice wine. The wines I know best are French wines because I got into wine when I lived in England and could travel to France pretty regularly. And so I did, and I visited so many fantastic wine regions like Bordeaux and Burgundy and the Côte-du-Rhône, the Loire Valley. And I discovered this wine from Bordeaux called Chateau Haut-Claribe. It's fantastic. It's under $10 and it has that Bordeaux flavor. I don't know how to describe that Bordeaux flavor, but this has it. A lot of people talk about Bordeaux wines as having this blackcurrant taste. And for me, a good Bordeaux wine has this slight flavor and smell that's reminiscent of wilted jasmine. I've never heard any wine person talk about a wilted jasmine note in wine, so I know I'm just making that up in my head. But when I get that note, I'm so happy about it. And when I'm drinking the Chateau Haut-Claribe, if I really look for it, I get that wilted jasmine. Hi, Suki. Because it's so hot, I wanted to get a nice crisp white wine, and I picked up this Touraine. So Touraine is in the Loire Valley. It's next to Sancerre, and everyone knows Sancerre wines. They're fantastic. You're not going to get a bad bottle of Sancerre. But did you know that Touraine is so much cheaper, and in my opinion, as good as Sancerre? So that went in the basket. While I was getting rung up, the guy who was ringing everything up saw this microphone that I had clipped on my shirt. And he asked me, "Are you wearing a microphone?" And I'm like, Oh, yeah. Yeah, I was. I am. But I was recording earlier and he's like, oh, are you like making a prank video? And I'm like, no, but I should. He's like, yeah, you should. The guy at the register next to us leaned over because he recognized me, because the 2 times I went into Trader Joe's wearing these patent leather boots, he saw them. In fact, he rang me up, and both times he said, oh man, that's just like Lux Eterna from the Cramps. That made me so happy. So the fact that he recognized me as the Lux Eterna boots guy, that was a great feeling, and that's also why I'm wearing these boots today. After I got home, dropped off the groceries, I decided to go out to Elysian Park and go for a run because it had gotten a lot cooler and I just wanted to physically move my body and be in a natural setting. And it was good. Especially after being in such a crowded, hot place earlier in the day, it was just nice to be out somewhere where it was expansive. And I saw no one. Just plants and rocks. And that felt very nice. Came home, had a shower, and I put on this fragrance. It's one of my favorites right now. It's Carine from Carine Roitfeld. You know Carine Roitfeld. She was the editor of French Vogue. She's a fashion icon. And this perfume is so stunning to me. It is such a classic chypre. Beautiful florals, white florals and rose, combined with patchouli. This is so chic, and I get fantastic herbal notes. I keep saying pine, but when other people smell it, no one else has pine, so I smell pine. It's beautiful. It feels nice to have gone for a run, to be freshly showered with wet hair, and put on this fragrance. Brennan and I had a nice light dinner, and we toasted to my mom, since it's Mother's Day. And then I realized this is the first Mother's Day without my mom being around. And it all made sense to me. No wonder I was so grumpy all day. I was holding it in my body, but I couldn't really figure out what was causing this. And I would have thought I would have felt sadness and grief all day instead of irritation, but the mind does what it does. I miss her a lot. So this morning it woke up cloudy and so much cooler. The pugs and I had a fantastic walk in the park. And I put on this outfit because it's very Dries Van Noten and very appropriate for my birthday coming up. Thank you for watching, and be sure to tune in next time to see my prank video.